Hey everybody, Josh from Populi here to expand your mind and help you understand that kiosks aren't just for malls. We'll look at how you can use the attendance kiosk to take attendance in your Populi courses. This video is primarily for folks with the faculty or teaching assistant roles, but academic admins and registrars don't need to feel left out. They can help set up the kiosk for any course and might want to know how it works. The kiosk is one of a few ways you can take attendance in Populi. You can also take attendance right in Populi on your browser, on the mobile app's attendance interface, or by using the beacon feature in the mobile app. Resources for all of those are linked in the description. Each of these have their own advantages. The main benefit of the kiosk is that it lets you more or less offload attendance taking to your students. You set it up, they check in, end of story. Here's a quick overview of how the kiosk works. You can do this on your own computer or device, or you can do it using the device that you'll end up using as the kiosk, like if you have a classroom tablet or computer that students can access. You'll also need a barcode scanner attached to the device. More on that in a bit. Shortly before the class meeting time begins, you set up the kiosk. You'll enter a few settings, when to start, when to mark students tardy, when to stop, so on. You'll end up being logged out of your account on the kiosk device. Once the kiosk device is set up and operating and class is starting, students will scan their Populi generated student ID barcodes. Populi automatically records their arrival times and determines their attendance statuses, present or tardy. Finally, you close the kiosk and log back into Populi. A few words on the things that you and your students will need to make the kiosk work. First, a kiosk device. Your best choices are a laptop or a tablet, but a smartphone could also work in a pinch. It needs to be something with a web browser that can be pointed at the Populi kiosk screen. If it's a mobile device, don't use one of the Populi mobile apps. The kiosk mode isn't available on the app. You can have multiple devices running the kiosk at the same time. That might come in handy if you're delivering a lecture in a large room, or there's a chapel service in a room with multiple entrances. The next thing you'll need is some kind of barcode scanner attached to each kiosk device. There are numerous USB and Bluetooth capable barcode scanners available at various retailers. Here's the one we keep around the office. It's black plastic and has a clicky little trigger button. This is the sort of thing you're after. Finally, students will need their Populi ID and barcode format. Populi's mobile apps have one, and there are multiple ways for you and your students to produce printed ID cards. It just needs to have this barcode printed right here, large and legible enough for the scanner to read it when the student clicks the clicky button. Here's how you'll set up the kiosk. First things first, you need to have meeting times set up for your course. That's usually all taken care of before the course begins when the registrar sets up the term course list. Some schools don't allow faculty to add or edit course meeting times, but some do. If you can do that, on a course under settings on the meeting time sill, you'll see the text for add. Presuming that you have meeting time set up, you'll log into Populi on the device that you're going to use as the kiosk. Find your course and go to the attendance tab and then click an upcoming meeting time. You can start the kiosk anytime within 6 hours of the beginning of the meeting time until the scheduled end of the event. For example, if your lecture starts at 3:45 p.m. and ends at 5:30 p.m., you can start the kiosk anytime between 9:45 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. When you're within that time range, you'll see a Start Attendance Kiosk button over on the right. Click that and choose your options. What time do you want to start taking attendance? When the meeting starts? You can also pick a specific time from the drop-down. Your options here stretch to sometime in the hour before the meeting starts. Or you can pick now, and that'll kick in once you click Log Out and Start Kiosk. What time do you want to start marking students tardy? Students who check in between the start time and this time will be marked present. After this point, they'll be marked tardy. What time do you want to stop the kiosk? If a student hasn't checked in by this time, they'll be marked absent. Once we have that all set up, you'll click Log Out and Start Kiosk. You'll see this screen until the start time that you set up arrives. If you're using more than one device, log into the second device, go to the attendance meeting time, and click Start Kiosk. You'll have the option of setting a different start time for this device, but the other two settings can't be changed at this point. Go ahead and click Log Out and Start Kiosk, and that device will go to the waiting screen. Repeat these steps for each additional kiosk device. Now let's look at what happens when the kiosk starts. It's pretty simple. On the device you're using, students will see this screen. They'll scan their ID barcode, whether on a printed ID card or one stored in a mobile app. A quick confirmation appears, and on they go. The kiosk will automatically stop at your chosen end time. If you want to stop it beforehand, click the X in the corner. If there are any students unaccounted for, you'll be asked whether you want to mark the rest of them absent. Click Continue to log in to go to the Populi login screen. If you accidentally stop the kiosk, when you log in, you'll be taken to a screen showing any upcoming meeting times for any of your courses. Click the one you wish to restart and you'll be back on the setup page. Click Log Out and Start Kiosk to get things rolling again. The course attendance block will show you a record of all the students who checked in. If you need to edit anyone's status or make notes, you can do that. Just remember to click Save Attendance when you do. And that, my dear sweet folks, is the attendance kiosk. Also, if you want to explore more training options, you should be aware of our focus sessions. These are 1 hour long training sessions that take place over Zoom. You and several other Populi users meet up with a Populi support rep, you get a little training, and then get to ask questions. We have a rotating sequence of topics, so if you miss a session on something like admissions or billing, don't worry, it'll be rolling back around. You can get to the focus sessions by going to the knowledge base, clicking on release notes and announcements, and then clicking into focus sessions. We've also popped a link directly to the focus sessions down in the description. I've been Josh for Populi. You've been great. Thanks for watching.